Hi, we're here for the Flow HQ for AnimeKon. My name is Kofi Jones for ZEITGEIST Entertainment Magazine, ZEITGEIST.com. And we're here with Kevin McNally. Y'all may know him from Pirates of the Caribbean. Speaking of which, I think you're one of the only actors to actually last throughout the entire series so far. What is it that brings you back to this role each and every time?
Well, first of all, because they asked me to come back. But I think my character, Mr. Gibbs, has maintained a presence in the films because it's my job to explain to Jack Sparrow what's going on all the time. I think without me, he would be a bit lost.
Almost like a counselor to Jack.
Yes, exactly, yeah. And I'm actually one of 3 people and 4 great apes who have been in the film because we have, well, not a great ape, a monkey. We have a monkey who's been in all 4 films.
Yeah, that's cool, that's cool. So, seeing as Pirates of the Caribbean was for several reasons, shot in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Do you feel like a nostalgic kind of vibe coming to Barbados for AnimeKon?
Absolutely. I mean, between 2000, because even before I made the first film, I had some friends who lived here, so I used to come here a lot. So between 2000 and 2007, you know, I spent a great deal of time filming those films in the Caribbean. So I have been getting a real sort of nostalgia vibe for the films. The first one we filmed over in St. Vincent, so you know, it was a short hop to come over here, and I would come over here whenever I could.
So it's safe to say that Barbados is your favorite Caribbean country?
Absolutely, it is, yes. I say that without a word of a lie.
Okay. So is there anything you could tell me in particular about the upcoming Pirates movie?
Well, there isn't an upcoming Pirates movie. That's a rumor. I mean, there may be an upcoming Pirates movie, but it hasn't been greenlit yet.
Okay.
But all I can tell you about it is you'll probably know about it before I do. I'm always the last person to hear. What I'm hoping, though, is that it films back in the Caribbean, because on the 4th film, we went to Hawaii, which was great. And the last film was in Australia, which wasn't so good. I think they did it to they had some sort of tax break to make money or something.
Okay.
But when they got to Australia, they realized that the fauna and the flora
isn't exactly Caribbean.
It's not Caribbean. So they were having to get boatloads of trees and palms every morning from Bali to come in to make it look more like the Caribbean.
Yeah,
so I think
crazy.
Whatever money they made in the tax break, they lost in buying trees.
And importing fauna. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Speaking of upcoming films, Downton Abbey. Is there anything you could tell us about that then?
No, because I'm not going to be in that, I'm afraid. My character was sort of terminated in that film. But I think it's going to be amazing, and I love watching the show, so I'm really looking forward to it come out, because I feel like more of a fan of the show than I was a participant. I mean, I think I did 4 episodes of it, I think.
Yeah.
Which was great. But no, they're not bringing Mr. Bryant back for the movie.
Oh, that's sad to hear.
I know, they don't want a good film.
Okay. I went through your IMDb, and it is almost endless. Is there like any role that you think you've personally forgotten about? Like people have to remind you, oh, you've been in this show, you've been in this film? Oh,
that's happened to me a few times actually. When I changed agents recently, and I went through his list of what I did, and I said, you've got me here playing a movie director in a TV show with Joan Collins. I said, I've never worked with Joan Collins, and I have never played a TV director. And about a week later, he delivered me a DVD of this program. And indeed, I was in it, doing a scene with Joan Collins, and I'd completely forgotten about it. I guess that comes with experience. Well, you know, it comes of doing it for 45 years, correct. You know, and thankfully, working a great deal, so... Okay. A few things slip every now and again.
Yeah, of course. I've also noticed that you auditioned to play the role of Green Goblin in the Spider-Man film.
That's right, yeah.
Right, but you didn't make the cut.
No, I did not.
Is there any stories you could tell us of a film that you wanted to work with, but...
Well, no, but the Green Goblin was quite interesting because later on, I think a year or so after that, I was asked to go up for another movie, an American movie, and I thought... I'm not going to bother. I keep going up for these American movies, and I never get the role, so I won't bother. But a friend of mine forced me to go along, and it was my birthday, and I'd had a few drinks, and I said, well, I've been drinking. I can't go to an audition now. She said, no, you'll be fine. Go on. So I went along, and it was for Pirates of the Caribbean. And
well, the drinking
so the drinking was okay.
Yeah. I've also noticed that you do voice acting as well as theater.
Yeah, a lot of theater, a little bit of voice acting, yeah.
Right. So how do you approach these roles, seeing as it's so different from being on film? Do you have like a same thought process when you're preparing for these roles?
Yeah, I think the thing I trained as a theatre actor. The thing I missed when I started to do film and television was the rehearsal period. So what I try to do now is when I'm working on film and television is try to do my own rehearsal period to be as prepared as possible about the character, the background, the other characters. So, but essentially, I think it's the same process. But it relies upon you more to do the work when you're working on film. It's not quite so collaborative as theatre.
Okay, I get that. Another topic about voice acting. I actually saw a pilot for a series. I don't want to get the title wrong. Starship Goldship.
Yeah.
Right.
Starship Goldfish.
Goldfish. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
What drew you to that role?
Well, it was a friend of my daughter's was making it.
A friend of your daughter's?
Yeah, and he was trying to raise the money, and he wanted somebody with some profile. So I went along and voiced the robot, Ghostworthy. I'm here to say, if everybody sees this, I haven't seen a penny yet. So I hope you sell it, and you can pay me. That would be great.
But seeing as the series, like I saw a couple of episodes on the pilot, it changed a lot. So how does that work? Like the production time or whatever, like.
It's really strange doing that sort of thing because you go in and you get given a script and you read all these lines, and then maybe a year or two later you'll see the thing, and of course you have no recollection of the things that because you don't learn the lines, you just read them on the day. So it was fascinating to me because I had no idea how this episode would end because I couldn't remember anything I'd said in it. So that's a really weird process, and it can be even weirder doing voices for video games.
Oh, you do that as well?
Yeah, well, obviously I've done a lot of the pirate ones, and I've done Assassin's Creed, a few others. But that's an immense period of time while they develop the game around the voices. So that can be really odd too.
Have you ever played the games you've voiced?
No, because by the time I started voicing the games, I couldn't play them on my computer before. I'm afraid I'm not good with these handsets. I'm too old for that. I was a mouse and
keyboard type of guy.
Keyboard man. Yeah,
so you could still be one.
Yeah, I could still do that. I suppose I do play a few on my Mac. When they come out, maybe a couple of years later, they'll do a sort of a reduced version for the computer. Yeah, so I do play that, but I've never played the Assassin's Creed one. But my son tells me it's great.
It is.
He says but it's rather ruined by the fact that I hear my dad's voice every time through it. It breaks the whole spell of it.
I wouldn't personally agree, but it was nice meeting you, Mr. Kevin.
You too. Very nice to meet you too. Thank you.
Once again, this is Kofi Jones for AnimeKon with ZEITGEIST magazine. See you next week.